Last time on Discovering Disney.
Since you now understand the Enchantress is a fairy godmother and she gives out magical items like many of the other fairy godmothers, then we can assume this is a common practice. The Enchantress gives the beast a mirror which can see anything he asks it to show. But wait, what if the godmothers have given out a mirror before? If magic mirrors are gifted to people by fairy godmothers, then that means... No, it can't be. The evil queen was visited by a fairy godmother? Hello, I'm Isaac from Wotso videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people, and today's video will continue to describe how the fairy godmothers weave the Disney universe together by explaining why the fairy godmothers visited the evil queen and why they gifted her the magic mirror. The lives of people within the world of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves was terrible. The easiest way to see this is through Snow White herself. She is a 14-year-old girl who has already lost both of her parents, even though her family is the wealthiest and the best off out of everyone in that area. If the royals in Snow White are dying so soon after having their daughter, then the conditions and the standard of living must be very low. In addition, the dwarves explain in their song Hi Ho that they are getting rich quick by mining mine carts of jewels per day. But even with this wealth, all 7 men decide to live in a single small cottage. Why would they do this if they have so much monetary income? To live even in the small home filled with all of the amenities we normally deem as a necessity must cost an astonishing amount of money. The rich and the wealthy are not living lavish lives in any sense, so life without either must have been atrocious, which is the case for the early life for the queen. In addition, the queen was always insecure about herself. She never was able to gain confidence, which resulted in her feeling lonely and depressed, and this only made her life more difficult. In an article by BuzzFeed, which I will link in the description, they determined Snow White took place in Germany in the mid to late 16th century, because of the yodeling by the dwarves, which was first recorded in 1945. Also, the wooden curvature on the dwarves' home, the forest, and mountains seem to resemble the Black Forest region in Germany. This time period's kingdoms were commonly spread out in Europe, each ruling small areas similarly to Snow White's monarchy. Since the queen lived during this time period, then we can assume the queen was expected to find a husband to take care of her. I'm sure in some cases women did not get married because they shouldn't have to, but at this point in history and for hundreds of years in the future, women did not commonly hold well-paying jobs. With the queen's high insecurities, which held her back from finding her true love, the poor conditions, and the early loss of her parents like Snow White later would, the future queen's early life was in shambles. Sometimes in the worst situations, there arises a better tomorrow. This is what fairy godmothers provide. Whether they prepare you for the ball that would change your life or curse your kingdom to bring out the best in you, they are there to make someone's life better. In the wake of her darkest moment, the queen's fairy godmother arrived to bring the future queen to her happy ending. Similarly to Cinderella's fairy godmother, the evil queen's godmother took her from her terrible life and bestowed her with a single magical item which would allow her to rise from her disparity. She gave the future queen a magic mirror. We know fairy godmothers possess and have the ability to give out magical mirrors through my previous fairy godmother theory. I showed the Enchantress from Beauty and the Beast was a fairy godmother, and since she gifted a looking glass that could show anything to the beast, then a fairy godmother must have given the evil queen her magic mirror as well. Using the slave in the magic mirror, the future queen discovered her true love was the king, who was suffering from loneliness similarly to hers. The king's wife had passed away years prior when giving birth to his child Snow White, and still struggled without her. The fairy godmother urged the queen to venture to the king and fall in love. In good faith, the fairy godmother also gifted the magic mirror to the girl to allow her to see her subjects from within the castle, and to remind her of the struggle she endured to get to her happy ending. The fairy godmother hoped the mirror would facilitate the queen's prosperity as a ruler by focusing on the people instead of focusing on power. The once peasant fell in love with the king, married him, and found true happiness. But if life was so perfect, how did she become the evil queen? Unfortunately, the queen's insecurities never left her. By marrying the king, she also became the stepmother to Snow White, and jealousy bubbled within her. Snow embodied the beauty of the king's first love, and every day the queen saw Snow, she was reminded she was not her true love's first love. Luckily, the king was able to show he loved her, and kept her mind at ease by using the magic mirror to show she was the fairest one of all. The king could keep the jealousy of his true love at bay until his untimely death. After the king's death, the queen became cold-hearted and cruel, for she felt she had been stripped of her happy ending. The queen believed her fairy godmother promised her a false reality. She only had provided the queen a brief snap of happiness, but was forced to live again as a lonely woman. Although her king was taken from her, the queen believed as long as she remained the fairest in the land, then her happily ever after still existed. Her obsession with beauty was only perpetuated by the constant growth of beauty by Snow White. The evil queen loathed Snow White and feared the girl's beauty would surpass her own, so she forced Snow to work as a scullery maid in the castle. When the evil queen was finally told after years of being the fairest one of all that Snow White had surpassed her, she snapped. The queen believed the fairy godmother had lied to her and was determined to grasp what was left of her happy ending through any means necessary. After the huntsman failed to end Snow's life, she decided to use a spell to conceal her identity and end Snow's life by feeding her a poisoned apple. Using magic taught to her by the magic mirror, the evil queen turned herself into a hideous witch and ventured to locate Snow White in the dwarf's cottage. When she meets Snow White, she mimics and mocks the fairy godmother who had once helped her. The queen tells Snow the apple, cursed with the sleeping death, is actually a magic wishing apple, which will make all of her dreams come true. After telling Snow whatever she needs to hear to eat the apple, the queen cackles because of how gullible the queen believes Snow to be, for the queen did not believe in happy endings. Because of the queen's horrendous early lifestyle and her multitude of insecurities, she is visited by a fairy godmother. In hopes of finding her happiness, the godmother grants her use of a magic mirror, but instead of making her a wiser ruler, the queen swirls into turmoil. The fairy godmother unknowingly turned a depressed peasant into a murderous witch. To theorize about Snow White and the Seven Dwarves in the comfort of your own home, check out the link I left in the description of this video so you can get the movie yourself. It's a classic film with some of the most iconic characters and songs Disney animation has to offer. So now it's time for you to tell me what you think. Do you think the evil queen was given her magic mirror by a fairy godmother? What do you think brought the queen to become evil? And what's your favorite place to go on vacation? Let me know in the comments section along with any ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, then remember to subscribe to Wotso videos. Thanks for watching and have a magical day.